Am I the asshole if I stop buying Christmas presents? I'm the youngest of 5 and have no kids of my own, but my 4 brothers and sisters all have many kids, for 4, and those 12 nieces and nephews all have 8 kids of their own. We used to always buy presents for each other's kids, so I naturally started getting gifts for their kids. A few years ago, I realized that practically no gifts were opened at all. But I didn't think much of it. The next year it happened again, and I found out that my siblings got together and agreed that they would stop buying gifts for each other's kids because our family was growing. They didn't tell me, and the only thing said was, "You just now realized it?" I was a little upset they didn't include me. But I get it. I don't have any kids of my own, but I've always bought gifts and they know it. The past couple years has actually led to a few incidents of the kids crying because if I messed up in what they opened, then that was basically it for their Christmas at the family get-together. They will still get gifts at their parents' or grandparents' home, but at our family Christmas? That's all. It feels like I'm carrying the family Christmas now. The kids are not to blame for their parents' spending habits. I love them and always been happy making them happy. But now it feels like an obligation, and it's expected of me. Not the asshole. Quick message into the family group chat. Hi everyone, following your decision not to purchase gifts for everyone, I will be following suit. Please let children know there won't be any gifts coming this year. Looking forward to celebrating family with you all. Not the asshole. But those parents are for not teaching gift opening etiquette. Everything opened should be met with happiness and thankfulness, even if it's not what they wanted. The thing that stopped me in my tracks was that they didn't tell you. I am also the youngest of 5, and I feel like I am the last to know anything. It's really annoying. Not the asshole if they're getting gifts at other houses. You don't need to carry Christmas. That said, if the family is that large, why not do a gift exchange where everyone draws a name? That way, each person buys and receives one gift. In my family, we made it into a huge game where gifts could be stolen after they were opened. It was always the highlight of the night. For the smaller kids, we played the saran wrap ball game and numerous others. There could be craft projects for the kids, family trivia for adults. The possibilities are endless. Everyone looked forward to this, and it was more about family fun than about specific gifts from specific people. Not the asshole, they absolutely should have told you when they decided to no longer exchange gifts. And when there's that many people involved, it should be group gifts or draw names. Not the asshole. If no one else is exchanging/giving gifts, then you should not be doing so either. Am I the asshole for refusing to act like my in-laws full-time, made even though I have a job and a 2-year-old? Throwaway account, as I can't rant about this from my main account. I live with my husband's parents, and it's very common in Indian marriages, and they expect me to follow a daily list of DIL duties. One of it is touching their feet every morning, although it's common in India to touch elders' feet and taking blessings from them. Isn't it weird to do that every other day? And I already do it, and it's not even the issue, but they treat it like some attendance ritual I must perform on time, and will get looks from them if I didn't do that. I am a software engineer, and I have chosen work from home to take care of my toddler, but what I am doing every day is household chores rather than parenting my kid. We do have a house help, but only for basic things like sweeping, mopping, and washing clothes. Cooking, dishes, groceries, managing the kitchen, and taking care of the baby? All of that is dumped completely on me, as if having partial help means I'm automatically responsible for everything else. And I have to take care of my job and my toddler and do the household chores, and I feel like I am working double shift. Although my FIL helps me sometimes in household chores, sometimes it still overburdens me. If I tell them that I am not feeling well today, and I want to take rest, they will see it as if I am doing some crime, and once they called my parents and ranting about my problems. Who does this? As if I am in some boarding school and complaining to my parents. And I won't get rest even on weekends. I need to do something or the other for them, and I get very less time for my toddler, who needs the most at this age. And I finally confronted them today, and everything went silent after that. In-laws didn't talk to me after that, and my husband out of station currently. My husband supports me privately, but the moment his parents start sulking, he goes quiet because he doesn't want more drama. Even in India, this level of entitlement is not normal. Most families share chores, or at least understand when someone is overworked. Am I the asshole for finally asking for help and refusing to be everyone's unpaid maid? Indian woman here. You have a husband problem. He needs to grow a spine. The in-laws will keep pushing you down if you let them. Let dinner be late, Let the in-laws wait for their tea. Or tell them you can leave your job to be a full-time cook, nanny, and servant. I am sure they want the financial contribution you bring too. Let them moan and complain. Your parents are not your bosses either. You are a grown woman and not a child bride to be tethered to a cooker and kiss the feet of undeserving people. They have done nothing to earn your respect, and neither it seems has your husband. Not the asshole. The problem here is your husband. Your in-laws treat you this way because your husband allows them to. I too come from a culture that elevates in-laws to godlike status, so I understand what you are going through. Your husband needs to grow a pair. You have a good job. Take your money and your child and move out. Not the asshole. Times are changing for everyone, and your son is your priority. You need to set your boundaries no matter how pissy they get. I'd personally move, but don't know if you're allowed to. Dude, I'm Indian. This isn't normal. Like, even my most traditional Indian friends don't do this. The closest they come to this is my one friend who is a Som, but she literally has a mother's helper, who helps with the kids and chores. Info: do you have a husband? I ask because you do not mention him once. You only talk about his parents. If you have a husband, you need to be discussing this with him. He is expecting you to be a traditional wife in your culture, while also expecting you to have a career and financially support the family. He can't have it both ways. Am I the asshole for not getting my MIL food? My MIL is on disability and lives with us because she can't afford to live on her own. She's capable of feeding herself. Me, my husband, and son are all busy people right now, so I cook dinner 4-5 nights a week. The other 2-3 nights we eat out or at friends. There is always something to eat in the house, even if I don't cook. My husband is off with friends today, so when I picked my son up from work, we stopped for dinner at our favorite spot. When we got home, I could hear my MIL very clearly on the phone. She was complaining to her daughter about how I never offer to bring dinner home or take her out with me. She went as far as to call me in a hole for not making sure she was fed when I know she isn't feeling well. She didn't say a word about how my husband doesn't invite her or bring her food. And it's incredibly rare for me to be going out without my husband. So he's the one that isn't including her 98% of the time. I'm going with not the asshole. It's always the wives that are to blame for these situations and never the sons. It is time for a conversation, though, between all adults living at this house to whether to include MIL in takeouts/dinners out. Not the asshole. There is food in the house, and MIL is capable of fixing it for herself. OP is already providing a lot for MIL. If she is unappreciative, maybe it's time to move in with daughter or an elder care facility. Everyone sucks here. You and your husband are treating her as though she isn't really there. When you stop for dinner on your way home, you could bring her a meal too. But obviously you don't like her and don't want to do that. When you cook dinner at home, is she invited to join you? Or do you just assume that since she's an adult she can find her way to the kitchen and get something to eat? I don't know the ground rules you set up when she came to live with you, but your household doesn't sound very welcoming. If you don't really want her to live with you, maybe you, your husband, and your MIL should work out some other arrangement for her. You would all be happier. Yeah, I get it. My in-laws live with me and my wife and kids. Though FIL is a physician, he saved no money for retirement. So yeah, hard not to resent them, especially since wife gave them the master suite. It's easy for everyone in this thread to criticize, but sounds like you're already helping her out. Is she contributing anything to the house/family while she's staying with you? You say she's capable of feeding herself, but she's perfectly happy having you cook most of her meals and complaining the other days when you're not cooking. Gonna say not the asshole. If she's capable of taking care of herself, then she should be doing that. If she doesn't like the arrangement, it sounds like she has another child she can live with. Your lives don't revolve around her. Not the asshole. You are allowed to go out with your husband and not worry about your MIL. She has a car and is mobile enough to cook for herself. Sure, sometimes you could offer to take her out, but you deserve couples time too. Am I the asshole for turning off my brother's motivational alarm that plays a speech every morning? My brother recently decided he is on a self-improvement grind. For the past 2 weeks, his alarm has been a loud motivational speech about discipline, success, and waking up at 5 a.m. to outwork everyone else. The problem is, he does not wake up to it. I do. It goes off every single morning at 5 a.m. and plays for 5 straight minutes while he snoozes it again and again. I asked him multiple times to change it to something quieter, but he said the speech is part of his mindset and that I should respect his routine. This morning, after 5 minutes of someone yelling about success and hustle, I got up and turned his phone completely off. He slept through his class, and when he woke up he was furious. Now he says I sabotaged his personal growth and disrespected his goals. I feel like I just wanted to sleep. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. He's mad at you for disrespecting his goals, yet he can't even respect his own goals by getting up on time. Maybe the you hit snooze you lose approach will be good for him. Rolling on the floor laughing. I wake up at 4:45 to a single beep of an iPhone standard alarm at half volume tell him he's got a skill issue and he'll never make it. Not the asshole. Waking up others with your alarms is annoying ASF, especially when it's some bullshit motivational speech alarm. Make your alarm bagpipes and set it to go off 5 minutes before his. Placing it under his pillow is optional. Not the asshole. I'm not saying it seems to be an essential part of hustle bro culture, to be completely rude and thoughtless to everyone who has to share space with you, but I'm not saying it. Not the asshole. Clearly it's not particularly motivating, and a biggest hole move on his podcast bro behalf.